All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to yet another episode of The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted channel for political analysis. Kidnappers free abducted surveyors in Ondo State after collecting 20 million naira ransom. It was the case of this abduction of surveyors that sparked the heavy protests in Ondo State yesterday, and that was after they had killed 20 other persons. I can't believe what the Southwest has turned into. Fulanis have now found their oil wells in the Southwest, and those wells are kidnapping business. They kidnap Yorubas at will and they collect ransom. And when you hear 20 million naira ransom, we usually don't think about the stories behind those monies. Some people had to sell their only car or landed properties to raise that money. Some businesses had to collapse for that money to be complete. That is the hopelessness that the APC has brought upon us all. As we speak, our institutions are all but gone. Academic institutions are a shadow of themselves. Judiciary is a disgrace. And recently, the National Assembly is at the worst it has ever been since I began understanding politics in Nigeria. And a few hours ago, the National Assembly came up with one of the most bizarre bills ever. A bill to ban pornographic sites in Nigeria. Now, nobody is saying that pornography is a good thing, but we have things like hunger, we have insecurity and all manner of ills bedeviling the society. But these lawmakers, who have also enabled open stealing and corruption, have chosen to tackle pornography. But the worst and the funniest part of it is that some other lawmakers had the nerves to openly say that pornographic sites should not be banned in Nigeria. It was an unbelievable sight. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, fresh updates on the Natasha and Akpabio saga began making the rounds. Senator Natasha has now taken her case to the International Court. She has tabled the sexual harassment case before the United Nations Interparliamentary Union in Geneva, Switzerland, a union that is made up of the parliaments of over 180 countries, now discussing Akpabio's sexual harassment. What a shame. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
Natasha should go to court because, let me tell you, Charles, the reason why we do what we do in Nigeria and appear to get away with, like I put up in my write-up, is that there is not that there are want of precedents, but the power that be believes, and wrongly too in my view, that they are above the law of the land. They can do anything and there are no consequences. Otherwise, if Nigeria is a country where consequences are visited on people, everyone, particularly those who have the legal training, that fail to properly guide the Senate of the Federal Republic, that what you are about doing will bring a boomerang and embarrassing effect to the nation, would have advised them and not doing so. But what do I know? Because you are accusing a member of parliament of an infinitesimal breach of your rules that is just like a subsidiary legislation, and you have now, in a geometrical proportion, violated violently the provisions of Nigerian Constitution that gives adjudication and judicial power to the court, and the fact that in the determination of a dispute, even in administrative inquiry, you must respect the rule of law. Have we? Look, let me tell you that
very briefly,
the rule of law
out of time
is the bedrock of democracy. But our politicians preach the rule of law, but they practice rule of self-convenience.
Right. As a final question, and very briefly, do you think anything should happen to the ethics committee? I mean, does anything ever happen to people who make the decisions that you feel are wrong?
Make anything to happen? That's why we must begin somewhere. And I think that it's time now, particularly those of us who have a higher calling, whose qualification is just not mere secondary school or its equivalent, who have been admitted to practice law in Nigeria, that our professional association should start holding us responsible, and Nigerians should start holding us responsible, because if we desecrate the Nigerian constitution, then authoritarianism becomes the real thing. And at the last time I checked the definition of democracy, authoritarianism and despotism were not part of the attribute of democracy.
Indeed.
In democratic setup, the freedom to speak and to be heard undiluted are part of the attribute of democracy. And so if we must not allow our democracy to suffer shipwreck, then it is time for us to respect our constitution.
You heard that. That was Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Okutepa, there, calling a spade on how the political class have rubbished the laws of this country. The Nigerian constitution clearly doesn't give anybody the power to suspend a sitting senator who was elected by his or her own people. But Akpabio and his cohorts, so-called lawmakers, have openly done that to Senator Natasha. So when anybody refers to Nigeria as a zoo, you can see that that person has every right to say that this country is a zoo. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that updates from the National Assembly, a bill to ban pornographic sites in Nigeria. Now, just as I said earlier on, pornography is a very, very dangerous thing. It messes up with the mental state and even the physical state of those who indulge it. But hunger is worse. Insecurity is worse. Corruption and stealing, taking loans to destroy the lives of the generation yet unborn, these are things that are clearly worse. But these same lawmakers have endorsed all that. So I cannot appreciate them. I see their effort against pornography similar to changing the national anthem. It doesn't really matter. And worse still, the lawmakers couldn't even unanimously agree. Some of them were defending pornography. And next is that update from Geneva, Switzerland. Senator Natasha has presented her sexual harassment case against Senator Akpabio to the United Nations Interparliamentary Union. So in a short while, Akpabio might be invited to come and explain himself before the parliaments of 180 nations. Let's start by taking that video from the National Assembly talking about the bill on the banning of pornographic sites. And I encourage you to watch this video to the end so that you don't miss that strong message in the closing part. See the video.
Block internet websites hosting pornographic contents and sanction defaulting internet service providers, standing in the name of Honorable Alatu Shehu Tafoki. Honorable Tafoki is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Engineer Shehu Alatu Tafoki, representing Paskari, Kankara Sabwa Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. I rise to move a motion for the need to block internet website hosting pornographic content and sanction defaulting internet service providers. The House notes that cyber pornography is fast becoming a global problem, and no concrete steps have been taken to curb the phenomenon of cyber pornography in Nigeria. Aware that Nigeria is a highly religious country, and all the major religions in the country have forbidden nudity and obscenity in any form. Also note that countries across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East have enacted legislation that ban pornography in their domains. Aware that renowned psychologists and sociologists around the world have issued stern warning on this psychological, sociological, and mental consequences of viewing pornography contents. Concerned deeply that some of the immediate effects of viewing pornography contents include A, causing deception in marriage and which may later on affect family life. B, promoting adultery, prostitution, and many oral expectations that can result in dangerous, promiscuous behavior. C, leading to addiction, escalation, desensitization, and the acting out sexually by one person. D, change of attitude toward oneself and his family. Resolve 2. 1. Urge the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, to direct the internet service providers operating in the country to take immediate steps to block all websites that host obscene and pornographic content. 2. Also urge the Nigerian Communication Commission to apply the full rigors of the Nigerian Communication Act and National Information Technology Development Acts, NIDA, against the defaulting internet service providers. And finally, mandate the Committee of Communication and Legislative Compliance to ensure implementation and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Dr. Gali.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani. I represent Alabasu Gajing Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay.
Amendments. Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
I will put the question again. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Communication and Information for further legislative action. The eighth order of the day.
You saw that. Speaker of the House of Rep Abbas there said those that are in support of the bill to ban pornographic sites should say yes. Yes, we heard some say yes. But when he said those who are not in support of the bill should say no, we had many House of Rep members saying no. So what are they saying? That the pornographic sites should be allowed in Nigeria. Now, there are people addicted to pornography who are seeking help. And we are not judging them. We hope that they find help. But for lawmakers to be proud of pornography right there in public speaks volume of how shameless and useless the National Assembly has become. It is not because they are rising up to say, let us not discuss this bill, we have better things to discuss. No, that's not what they are saying. They are saying that they are in support of those sites. They enjoy those sites. These are the kind of people we have as lawmakers in this country. So when you have a man that has everything like that indulging in pornography, why won't he go ahead to sexually harass the women that are in his vicinity? What a shame. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update coming all the way from Geneva, Switzerland, Senator Natasha appeared before United Nations Interparliamentary Union to present her case against Senator Godswill Akpabio. See the video.
Good afternoon, President of the IPU. Good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities.
Wow, wow. Kudos to Senator Natasha Akpoti for this very bold move. And many are saying that, oh, this is such a disgrace to Nigeria. It's a very disgraceful moment for Nigeria, to the point that even she, Senator Natasha, had to apologize to the Nigerian representative there. But for me, this is a moment to cherish for every sensible Nigerian woman, and indeed a moment to cherish for every patriotic Nigerian. Yes, it is somehow shameful. As a matter of fact, it is very shameful that as a sovereign state, we cannot handle our own business. A sitting senator had to run to an international community just to be heard, just to get fair hearing. She has to run to international community. But if that is what we have to do, then so be it. And I just hope and pray that this will be the beginning of people taking cases to international community, because many of the things they do in this country are clearly crimes against humanity. And the international courts, criminal courts, they have to begin to come in on some of these issues, because you cannot just enslave a people and be maltreating them like this. Many of the things they do in this country, including the crimes that are committed during elections, I think people should find a way to, to leverage on these international communities, that once they put a call through, all these Tinubu, all these Akpabio that are doing like a giants now, they will start shaking and shivering. Is it not a National Assembly that people said they wanted to do end hunger protests, and all of them began running out of this country? Imagine if international communities, should start intervening in some of this wickedness that they met out to Nigerians. Because we have to look for every means now to solve this problem. The country is sinking. We can't run away from that fact. Things are getting bad, getting worse daily. So whatever Nigerians can do, prominent Nigerians, to bring an end to this, they should please do it. God will bless you, Senator Natasha Akpoti, for this move that you have taken. She could have easily gone to a Nigerian court, just like Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Okutekpa, suggested. But she must have thought to herself that they can still go, the court is compromised. Wike will still go there, bribe judges, do this and that. Before they'll say they are adjourned. For instance, they want to hear her first hearing, because she actually took the case to court. The first hearing is coming up on the 25th of March. Why did they have to adjourn it that far? Somebody is given a 6-month suspension, undue suspension. She brought the case to court. You have moved it to 25th of March. That is 1 month gone. She will come the first day. You will adjourn it again to 25th of April. The second month will go. Then 25th of June. Before you know, she has served that suspension. She will even resume from the suspension and the case will be in court. That is how useless the Nigerian judiciary is. But now that she has approached the IPU, you will see that whatever, any step the court wants to, because she will still come back to court. So any step they want to take now, they know that this case is also before the United Nations. This is the kind of firm grip that you need to have on any dealing with this evil political class. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.